The hope for hundreds of families whose loved ones were detained in the course of the Boko Haram conflict and later declared missing have been rekindled with the release of 3,000 detainees by the government. Al-Amin Foundation for Peace and Development, who is leading the cause for the accountability for the vulnerable, says it will make further efforts towards the release of all innocent persons still in confinement. Umaru Kirawa will now tell us more about the foundation's strides to secure release of persons incarcerated.
The peak of the Boko Haram insurgency in Borno and some parts of the northeast has led to the apprehension of a significant number of innocent citizens, with most of them detained in Giwa barracks in Maiduguri. In the quest for accountability and justice, these women and men are lending their voices for the release of their loved ones through Al-Amin Foundation for Peace and Development.
Ana mana kallon wanda iyayenmu suka addabi al'umma a cikin gari, dan Allah ina roƙon gwamnati da ta sake mana mahaifinmu ya zamanto bango a gare mu.
Wa'anda suke hannu ba san hawo ba san sauka ba, dan Allah dan Annabi muna kiran gwamnati su sani cewa akwai lahira akwai ranar kiyama.
Mutanen da suka fito a jeji ma an yi musu abin an yafe musu, sun zo sun za su yanzu ana kokarin a sasu a cikin jama'a, amma mu ƴaƴanmu da aka dauke me muka yi, mu ba ƴan Najeriya ba.
Muna roƙon gwamnati ne taimaka yaranmu a fita mana da su dukkanmu.
Zainab Idris, a mother to detained Ibrahim Babangida, was among hundreds of women and men who shared their emotions and touching stories, thereby making passionate appeal to government and authorities to intervene.
Kam di chamal lefi suduro walja lefi di futul home doi lefi zeduro shapo mea shap kontili shimada.
Although evidence of peace is being felt in the state with the release of 3,000 detainees, according to the founder and executive director Al-Amin Foundation for Peace and Development, Hamsatu Al-Amin, the chairman board of trustee of the foundation, Professor Muhammad Waziri, there is the need for more efforts and shared commitment for the release of other innocent persons.
Ba faɗa muke da soja ba. Soja ma sun canza sunansu zuwa cewa sun canza suna zuwa menene? Haɗin kai. Haɗin kai. Haɗin kai. Mu ma za mu ba su menene? Haɗin kai. Yawwa, mu ma za mu ba shi me ta? Haɗin kai. Yawwa, to dukkan mu za mu haɗa kai da sojojin Najeriya, amma kuma abin da muke bukata da su wannan rai ne na bil'adama. Duk wanda ko da karen shi ne ya bata in ya dole ya nema, ko kuma wanda duk aka ci zarafin shi ba zai taba mantawa a rayuwar shi na duniya ba. So saboda haka su ma kar su gaji da mu, kamar yadda mu mun dauke su ƴaƴan mu ne, jama'a mu ne, mu ma za mu ba su haɗin kai, amma kuma har yanzu muna roƙon su kamar yadda Allah ya sa suka ji tausayi suka fara sako mana, kar su gaji a yi ta sako mana ƴaƴan mu.
The foundation and the aggrieved women, men, husbands and children have resolved to continue to mobilize and call the attention of government until they are reunited with their loved ones.
Whenever there is disaster, people should be accounted for, especially those who are arrested. Were they taken away by the Boko Haram, or were they killed, or did they disappear? But that has not been done.
We are sharing our sadness and unpleasant events that happened on this very day. The unfortunate attack on Giwa Barak facilities.
If they were found guilty, let them be arraigned to the court. And if they are not, let them be released so that anybody will have access to his family.
A ray of hope has been kindled in our hands and hearts and minds. Why? Because we have seen so far within a lifespan period of 1.5 years, over 3,000 of such arrested young men have been released within Maiduguri. And then they are back and reunited with their families. So that gave us a lot of hope. In fact, we really appreciate the change in leadership of the Nigerian military, and then appreciated the head of state who has effected these changes, and then these young new service chiefs who have been appointed are all men who have been tested and trusted, in whom people have a lot of confidence. But while we appreciate them, so long as these hundreds of thousands who are still missing have not come back, the women you have seen here, the young men you have seen, some of whom who have survived the detention, will never relent. They will never be tired of seeking for accountability, seeking for information, seeking for justice for those who are missing and disappeared.
Now, over 3,000 shortlisted indigenous of Borno who applied for the Nigerian Navy recruitment exercise sat for the selection examination held at the Memolari Barracks, Maiduguri. Borno State Guidance and Counseling Board, led by its chairman and executive secretary, were at the venue to supervise the exercise. Iyamaji will now tell us more about the Navy recruitment exercise in Borno.
Following announcement by the Nigerian Navy to commence recruitment exercise, the Nigerian Navy has opened its recruitment exercise portal where a significant number of indigenous of Borno have applied and have been shortlisted for the examinations. Addressing applicant, the Executive Secretary Borno State Guidance and Counseling Board, Engineer Babamana Kaigamas said, Governor Babagana Umar Azam is working hard to reduce the rate of unemployment, more especially among the youth, hence the need for youth to participate in the exercise. Engineer Babamana Kaigama said the examination is for the selection of successful candidates who will be recruited into the Nigerian Navy and call on them to work hard and pass their examination, stressing that anyone that will not pass this exercise, there will be another opportunity.
Participants, they should exhibit good conduct and they should not take it as a do-or-die affair. This is one center out of 30. They are all sitting for exams and the marking is going to be computerized. Here in Borno State, we have over 3,000 in Borno, in Maiduguri Center, and not all the 3,000 are from Borno. They were asked to choose any center they wish to write the exam. I wish them the best. It's after this examination, then we'll now look at how many Borno State indigenes has passed the exam before the final selection. Then we'll now come in and look at their local government, their indigenship, to verify whether they are from Borno or not.
He called on them to always protect the image and interests of Borno wherever they found themselves in terms of service or any other opportunity. Chairman of the board, Abalon Ashigashia, said they were at the venue to supervise the conduct of the exercise and wish them success.
We are grateful that this exercise is taking place because this is an opportunity for our youth to be employed, which is in line with the policy guidelines of His Excellency the Executive Governor of Borno State to ensure that youth of Borno are gainfully employed. To start with, the total numbers we are seeing here is about 3,000 or so. This is one of the centers in the country. So all the candidates appearing here, not all of them are indigenous of Borno. So our role today as a board is to actually observe the exercise and ensure that our indigenes are not shortchanged for any reason. As I said at the beginning, this is yet another opportunity the federal government is creating for youth of Nigeria to be employed, and we in the state are very, very, very much keen into it to ensure that as many as possible citizens or indigenes of Borno are employed in this very exercise.
Member of the board, Dr. Hawame Musa, said henceforth sensitization campaign will be organized for adequate enlightenment of the female youth for them to apply into the armed force to get more women in the job.
Today's exercise, we've seen that the women are very few compared to the other exercises we've been doing. But we are here to supervise the examination they're going to take. And the Borno State and Guidance Commission is here to see that all the indigenes of Borno who are qualified get admission into the Navy. We have to go out for sensitization to enlighten them on the need for them to apply in their portal to see that they also participate.
Some participants expressed the hope to be recruited into the Nigerian Navy.
Everything pertaining Navy is awesome to me because the way they do, the way they dress, the way they address people, the way they associate with people in the country motivated me to join Navy.
The assurance of the safety of Nigeria. And I have so much pleasure to serve my country.
I have the love for the job as a naval officer.
I want to work in Nigerian Navy, but I want to pass this exam 100%.
Our best wishes to all of them there. Let's move on now. The 100 civilian joint task force members selected for NSCDC recruitment and sent to Abuja for training and documentation have returned home after a successful exercise and were handed over to the Borno State Commandant, Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps, Farouk Musa. The official presentation of the newly recruited CJTF youth into the NSCDC was performed by the Executive Secretary, Borno State Guidance and Counseling Board, Engineer Babamala Kaigama, at the premises of the NSCDC office in Modgonari. Yagum Subukar will now bring us more details for Sunday Magazine.
Presenting the 100 members of the Civilian Joint Task Force who went for documentation in Abuja to be recruited into the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps, the Executive Secretary, Borno State Guidance and Counseling Board, Engineer Babamala Kaigama, appreciated efforts of the Zulum administration in securing jobs to the youths of Borno. This effort, according to him, is a clear indication that Governor Babagana Umar Zulum has passion in reducing the high rate of unemployment to the minimum.
Here on behalf of the Borno State government to hand over officially the 100 recruitees that was given to Borno State Commander, Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps. My message to the recruitees are they should behave well, they should exhibit good character, they should work well for the state and for the nation.
Engineer Babamala Kaigama called on the newly recruited NSCDC members to reciprocate the golden opportunity by working hard as they were known for in the past as civilian JTF and also ensure they abide by ethics of the profession.
You have to behave well. You have to abide by all the rules and regulations guiding NSCDC in particular and the Federal Republic of Nigeria in general. The Federal Republic of Nigeria in general, I mean the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. You people are lucky and it's a privilege for you to be in this service. I believe you have heard me well. Yes, sir. Thank you and wish you all the best in your training. Thank you, sir.
The State Commandant of the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps, Farouk Musa, assured of equal treatment with the old officers and called on them to protect the dignity and image of the job.
Our gratitude to His Excellency, the Professor Babagana Umar Zulum, the People's Governor, the man of the people, that having this number against what was given to other states, man, is unprecedented. He's a man of determination. He has been quite supportive to the Corps. Indeed, Borno State Command. And we will not relax on our oars to see that his desires have been met positively. We're going to work with these people through them to bring about success and decline in criminalities in town. We will put in place for them the good maneuvering tactics, military tactics for doing this job, and then the discipline that goes with it. I want to believe they're ready for the work.
Farouk Musa equally commended the recruited civilian JTF for their resilience in the fight against the insurgents and expressed optimism that similar gesture will be extended to their new place of assignments. Some of the newly recruited members of the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps, while describing their appointments as unexpected, promised to live up to expectation.
Professor Babagana Umar Zulum askarnyen so nganu yenaro asuzu and civilian JTF de and then ga on kolzi sulod mi hada samma so civilian JTF bocheno and then namye committee hada namye sasirnye amdo sandana tuluye sirowiye leda documentation za sare kesha da ya waru wuni mi askarai da ya duduro gulen fun sai mu konde saluna sai kama property civil defense wardara
ande suro civilian JTF perimando ande agoza na alo chauto slenye Abuja lan documentin so tamonye kashe a wonde do ba klapona alai andero kiskezi bara anzi gamna Borno ya andero chida diro askrena ande wada goena putu jete pin chida nyina do shadian lar ndero ngintien chiskien kamde kura lar ndia kala ndia soro
wannan abun da His Excellency Professor Babagana Umar Zulum ya mana gaskiya ba mu san ya zamu kwatanta shi ba dan gaskiya ya mana abun nan mun ji dadi sosai iyayen mu ma sun ji dadi gaskiya yanzu ne muka tabbatar mun samu shugaba adali wanda kuma zai damu da damuwanmu kuma iyayenmu sun yi alfahari da haka. so gaskiya abun da yi mun gode mishi ubangijin Allah ya kara ɗaukaka shi wayanda kuma suke bayan mu ma in Allah da zamu yi abun da mu ma za su yi koyi da abun da ya mana mu ma mu ji daɗin shi.
The training is ongoing at the premises of the NSCDC head office in Maiduguri along Modiganari area of the metropolis.
Forward ever and backward never for our vibrant youths there. Now, as part of its post-insurgency recovery programs, Borno State government has conducted training for over 100 medical experts on community management of acute malnutrition. The 3-day capacity building training was organized in collaboration with African Development Bank and Rural Water Supply, Sanitation and Supply Agency, RWASA. Umaru Kirawa captured it all for Sunday magazine.
Malnutrition has been a recurring global public health concern, especially in conflict zones, resulting from various aspects of deprivation affecting mostly women and children. Proactive measures for combating malnutrition in all its forms necessitated this third phase capacity building training for health workers under the Inclusive Basic Service Delivery and Livelihood Empowerment Integrated Program of the African Development Bank and Borno State Government under the auspices of Rural Water Supply Agency, RWASA.
We have achieved very sound knowledge about malnutrition.
Aza tam tayi watungana dim trunkwaya
agoder ya non dradigal gwamna narbu ir Borno.
We learn a lot of things in this training.
Mun ji dadin wannan training saboda zamu je mu koyawa wayanda suke tare da mu.
Ala marja kur kwasa shi ma su robula yarwa kriutu baro waljinne.
The training of 120 participants drawn from 12 local government areas of Borno State, according to the General Manager, RWASA, Dr. Mohammed Musa Aliyu, seeks to broaden their horizon on international best practices.
Our relevant health workers are being trained so that the knowledge they will acquire from this training can be used to save the lives of our children, so that the issue of malnutrition will be history. We will have nourished children, which will ensure healthy generation in the future. And if we have healthy generations in the future, definitely they are going to be productive and our society will grow better.
Early warning and management techniques of malnutrition and other health-related issues, according to speakers at the event, is a welcome development that will further entrench the desire of the Zulum administration in providing effective services to the people, particularly newly liberated communities.
Muna gode wa mai girma gwamnan Borno, malamin mai gidanmu, His Excellency Professor Engineer Babagana Umar Zulum, MNI FNSE, da ya approving wannan training din kuma ya bamu duk wani support da muke nema a tabbatar da cewa an yi wannan training. Allah ya saka mishi alkhairi.
One of the best corporate courses that I've ever seen, not only in Maiduguri, even in Nigeria.
We can see so many improvements coming from different dimensions.
I will also ask you people to pray for the state government or the country in general to be more safety so that all our problems will be solved.
We have trained over 2,000 health workers on nutrition for most. Though we have other thematic areas that we have trained. The most important aspect is, after the training, we are giving you tools, data tools.
We really appreciate the effort of the state governor, Professor Babagana Umar Zulum, and the GM of RWASA, Engineer Dr. Mohammed Musa, in their giant strides in tackling the issue of malnutrition in Borno State.
I know all of you are aware of the statistics globally about malnutrition. So the main goal of the training is to save lives.
Effective implementation of the modern training strategies and continued capacity enhancement in such direction, according to experts, will no doubt go a long way in ensuring a healthy citizenry for the overall growth of humanity. In Maiduguri, Umaru Kirawa, NTA News.
Certainly, Kirawa. Enhanced sources of livelihood as well as boosting the resilience of communities severely affected by the insurgency in northeastern Nigeria has been identified as key in facilitating the recovery process in the region. More than 40,000 people in Borno and Adamawa states have benefited from livelihood and resilience building interventions by the United Nations Food and Agriculture Organization with the support of the European Union Civil Protection and Humanitarian Aid in the last 12 months, with the aim of bettering the living conditions of victims of insurgency in the region. Jadwa Jasni has more for Sunday Magazine.
The 12 years insurgency bedeviling the northeast region has not only displaced thousands of households, but also disrupted livelihood activities, which has raised the bar of food scarcity, poverty, and economic decline, among others. However, government at all levels have continued to collaborate with security agencies, and now peace is gradually gaining grounds as normalcy takes root. This has also amplified the humanitarian needs of the people. With funding from the European Union Civil Protection and Humanitarian Aid, ECHO, a food security sector headed by the Food and Agriculture Organization, FAO, has been on the forefront of ensuring that the food security needs of the people are identified and taken care of. In Adamawa State, FAO and the Adamawa Agriculture Development Program, alongside other organizations, have set up farmer field schools where farmers are taught various farming techniques and provided with variety of seedlings to enable them engage in agriculture to boost their livelihood.
This impulse has gone a long way in helping our vulnerable people and ensuring that they have food on their tables and also ensure food security. And by their production, they also have income, and this income also improves their livelihoods. From the way they come and the way they are now, there is a change. We are engaged in the security activities whereby the NGOs like FAO collaborate with extension activities in the ADP.
There are much improvement and impact on our communities in the local government. We formed the farmer field school. When you involve somebody in doing something, it's more than you come and just teach the person.
From the knowledge we get from food skill sector, we can sometimes refer to our donors that we need to make some adjustment so that we can achieve our desire or objective.
Mariam Umar and Rebecca Paul, alongside many others in Michika local government, are beneficiaries of this intervention, and they prayed that more of such interventions may come again so that others can benefit.
I was called last year. I was given a card, and when they came, they gave us fertilizer, they gave us beans and maize as seed to plant. I harvested about 5 to 6 bags of maize, and I got 1 bag of beans, 1 and maybe a half of it. I decided not to sell it. I want to use it as food in my family.
Da na yi noma da shi abu na ka bani, da na yi noma da shi na sama amfanin shi, da na sama amfanin shi. Idan da dawun nan kaɗan a hannu na dama sai na haɗa da shi na nima abu nima su biya bukata na kai fili na kenan. A gaskiya ban sama nima har in samu kaina in sama abu kaina ba, amma na gode.
Likewise, in Goza local government area of Borno State, FAO, with the support of ECHO, has enabled over 35,000 people access safe fuel and energy, which has reduced the expenses on firewood as well as minimized felling of trees in the area.
I was asthmatic. I used to have attack frequently, but now it has reduced drastically. This year I've not had any attack at all because I'm using this stove, which has very little smoke.
This is our local stove, and this is the new stove that was introduced by the NGOs for us. So now we prefer using this far better than this because it's too economical.
FAO is optimistic that the beneficiaries will carry on with the interventions to better their living conditions, those of their immediate families and communities.
The needs are still many. A lot of people still need to be assisted, but also the project has spoken for itself. The impact is great, and we hope that with the if continuous funding comes in, we should be able to reach more people, and then we can see more improvement in food security and livelihoods. Just to say thank you to the government. It's been very good partnership working with them. Not only government, but also the other non-governmental partners that we work with them, but specifically really to the donor that has enabled this to happen.
In his magnanimity of continuously reaching out to the less privileged, orphans, widows, and the needy in the society, Wali of Borno, Wali Zanna Zakaria Idris, has reached out to over 1,000 people with economic tree seedlings, food, and cash assistance. The philanthropist has justified this by rendering assistance to the needy and called on well-to-do individuals to always give out whatever they have for the sake of God. I am your guide on this humanitarian exercise within MMC and Jere Council areas for Sunday Markson. 6 different locations in Maiduguri Metropolis and Jere local government were covered by Wali of Borno, Wali Zanna Zakaria Idris, who distributed humanitarian assistance to the target beneficiaries. Economic tree seedlings, food and cash assistance went to the pediatric ward at State Specialist Hospital Maiduguri, Kumburi Kura in Mafoni, Kumburi Ghana of Kalwa, Fatima Ali Sharif Motherless Babies Home, Seedling Center and IDP's camp along Muna Garage, among others. The first point of call by Wali Zanna Zakaria Idris was the State Specialist Hospital, where he was received by the Medical Director, Dr. Laraba Bello, where the Wali appreciated the efforts of the management and staff of the hospital for effective and efficient service delivery and assured of his continuous assistance to patients in the institution.
In our pursuit of life and with so many things happening around, we should always try and reach out to the downtrodden, those truly in need, those that cannot reach out.
Medical Director Dr. Laraba Bello commended Wali of Borno for always being there for the people, saying he has for over 7 years been rendering assistance to the patients in the hospital and prayed Allah to reward his good deeds. While expressing his feelings about supporting the less privileged in all the places visited, Wali of Borno, Wali Zanna Zakaria Idris said, as a human being, there is need to give a sense of belonging to all and live with them in peace, harmony, unity and understanding, hence his reasons and intention of always rendering assistance to the needy.
Muna mishi godiya, kin ga wannan ya rage mana kudin magani ba kadan ba.
Ala sayro iko de andiro a piso so din soro blandero tsawu maro askan
sa Allah da ya bashi ikon daman tallafa ma al'umma. Ya kamata wayansu su yi koyi da halayen shi su dinga taimaka ma bayin Allah, Allah kuma zai daɗa buɗa musu.
Mun gode a Allah da wannan kyautan sadakan da aka mana, kuka taimaki talaka, Allah ya saka muku da alheri, Allah kai ko jan doka da lafiya.
This he does every year before the fasting period to help them to prepare, especially in this period of hardship. Wali Zanna Zakaria Idris went on to say that there is need for wealthy individuals to always give out whatever they intend for the sake of Allah, as the reward of good deeds is awaiting them.
The Wali of Borno Foundation is contributing his own quota. We are now calling on other people to emulate him, because every year, I can recall, since 2017, he has been coming, assisting a lot of patients.
NGO semen galtion andero NGO ya wala sodi. Sai Wali Borno Wali Foundation adonya. Annan kadro daji zoro Wali Borno yero askariana shaya lanza alam kuranzia kawukuru warosidi ala shia bara warosidi.
Shawi ba Wali Borno suna da maskina tafsa jira ningiro sunna. Kamande ala shasiru. Ala jamanza sekretariat.
Wali Zanna Zakaria Idris was also at the Tree Seedling Center, where Umar Garba and Ramo Manguno conducted him round the nursery site for economic trees and briefed Wali on locations for planting of the trees.
Wali is also there to mitigate climate change and desertification, to provide the less privileged with economic seedlings.
He has been a very generous, kind and really sensitive to the issues we are facing now, and he has always stepped in and has been stepping in for many years to come.
Wali Zanna Idris, while presenting the different types of 500 seedlings for onward distribution to the less privileged, said this is the 4th time he is distributing the seedlings to the people for them to have economic trees to support, cater for the needs of their families.
It's born out of the desire and the passion to identify with our people and to feel their pain. We are very aware of the hardship faced by our people. So we cannot extricate ourselves from the realities. So we feel duty bound to come visit the most vulnerable in the society.
Let's now head straight to Nigeria's capital city on the show. University of Maiduguri Alumni Association, Abuja chapter, has held its 2022 Maiden Annual General Conference and Marketplace exhibition, where critical issues were discussed on how best to move its alma mater forward. President and founder Al-Ansar Foundation, Dr. Mohammed Kyari Dikwa, an alumnus of the institution and guest speaker at the event, presented a paper titled Entrepreneurship and SMEs as a Panacea for National Growth. Yagum Subukar will now take us to International Conference Center, Abuja, venue of the occasion.
University of Maiduguri, a federal higher institution of learning established in 1975, has produced reputable leaders in both private and public sectors, including distinguished personalities like governors, ministers, ambassadors, and hosts of others that have contributed to the development of the nation. Prominent among whom is an astute accountant and eloquent founder and president, Al-Ansar Foundation, Dr. Mohammed Kyari Dikwa. Preparatory to the maiden annual General Conference of University of Maiduguri Alumni Association FCT chapter, President of the association, Baba Shetima, led other members on a visit to Dr. Kyari Dikwa, soliciting his approval to serve as guest speaker during the event, where he graciously accepted and pledged commitment to support the association. The 2022 Annual General Conference also attracted former students of the institution from across the country. Dr. Mohammed Kyari Dikwa, in his paper, Entrepreneurship and SMEs, Panacea for National Development, says, entrepreneurs have been instrumental in promoting domestic growth in new and existing industries, while SMEs are engine of growth. On the relevance of SMEs and entrepreneurship to the Nigerian economy, Dr. Kyari Dikwa emphasized that SME subsectors help to economize resources and have shorter gestation period that yields quicker returns on investments. Dr. Mohammed Kyari Dikwa recommended that Nigerian government needs to include vocational and entrepreneurial training in the education system, as well as organize workshops and seminars to aid the growth and development of entrepreneurship, among others. Another alumni of UNIMED, Senator representing Borno Central, Kashim Shetima, described Kyari Dikwa as one person that holds his community with high esteem, and UNIMED is proud to have him as its alumni.
In our modern banking system, the sole barometer for assessing you is your level of input to the development of that particular institution. I went to him, introduced myself in his office, sought for his support. Lo and behold, he gave me 2 accounts. That was the launching pad that catapulted me to a higher pedestal. One of the leading experts in public finance management in Nigeria, Dr. Kyari Dikwa, has a PhD in accounting, a master's degree in accounting, and a BSc in accounting from the University of Maiduguri. Most importantly, we have had a couple of people of influence that came from that office. But he's one person that has fiercely identified with his community, that has been a pillar of support in establishing foundations, institutions, health facilities, media outreach, all for the betterment of the lives of our own people. The Al-Ansar University that he established in Maiduguri, he could have easily established it here in Abuja and rake in the billions. But he decided to take it to Maiduguri, in spite of all the challenges. Dr. Kyari Dikwa, we are mighty proud of you.
Some alumni of the institution were recognized through presentation of awards during the event.
We are now back in Maiduguri from Nigeria's capital city. If you're just joining us, you're on to Sunday Magazine on the largest television network in Africa, the NTA. And of course, we're reaching you live from the Maiduguri Network Center. Let us at this point take a commercial break to bring you another set of fascinating stories that will surely catch your fancy, no matter your preferences.
Not too much Berekete. Glow Berekete Plus is here. Existing Glow customers will get 400% bonus on every recharge and 100 MB data bonus on first recharge of the month. New Glow customers will get 1,000 Naira welcome bonus. To activate, buy a new Glow SIM today or dial *777# for existing Glow customers.
It always gladdens our heart to know that you're part of Sunday Magazine. Let's now begin with wedding. It was a seamless conjugal bliss for the Speaker, Borno State House of Assembly, Abdul Karim Lawan, when he gave out one of his daughter's hands in marriage. Dr. Aisha Abdul Karim Lawan, a gynecologist with the Borno State Specialist Hospital, Maiduguri, was joined in marriage to Mohammed Maijir, a pilot with Azman Airline. Kaigama Mustafa, tell us all that transpired at the Speaker's residence.
It was a happy moment for the family of Speaker Borno State House of Assembly Abdul Karim Lawan, giving out a daughter's hands in marriage. Abdul Karim Lawan is a politician of repute, the first ever Speaker Borno State House of Assembly ran the affairs of legislature for a period of 10 years. His personality drew a multitude of people who converged on his residence to witness the wedding ceremony of his daughter, which include Borno State Governor Professor Babagana Umar Zulum, members of the National and State Assemblies, members of the State Executive Council, and APC State Party Chairman, as well as Nigeria's Ambassador to China, Baba Ahmed Jidda. Others include Borno State Deputy Governors, representatives of Shohus of Borno, Dikwa, and Bama, local government chairmen, permanent secretaries, head of security agencies, members of the Borno Elders Forum, men and women from different walks of life. The wedding formalities were appreciated by Chief Imam of Borno, Imam Lesi Ibrahim Ahmed, upon the payment of 300,000 naira as dowry. Borno State Governor stood in as representative of the bride, Dr. Aisha Abdul Karim Lawan, where Finance Commissioner Adamul Lawan stood as representative of the groom, Mohammed Maijir. Family and friends urge the couple to respect the doctrine of marriage.
Marriage institution is very important. It doesn't need any emphasis.
It's a union of patience. So I wish them all the best.
Both of them have to understand each other and know themselves.
Kamar da Allah sandiya fantan ganazin.
Shi nyar binar suna neve amakunda kamandor kistare. Undu so da sekkan rigojan.
Da ya awado Quran za sayin fune. Futu da sana da shilan koyo sadiq.
Ai waje katin zan wande kunza am Quran za mai fanzai.
I pray that Allah keep them together. I wish them long life and prosperity.
She should live to respect him, as it is his own duty to love her.
Father of the bride, Speaker Abdul Karim Lawan, thanked the Borno State Governor and Shehus of Borno, Dikwa, and Bama for sending their representatives, as well as all those that attended the ceremony.
Da jawo gunyan nan bero wolona sha kwanza tawakta kalanza kalza da isan bisoro kinda kanadi landasa apima awo kanadi kwalzi kanadi bai gwajin mabaw nan kado ayu don dikatin zan subhanallah talampallata ayaye da mo wanjin nan dikatin zan sulu sadi mo wanzinya allando ande gapsuna fahe da ande feron da tarbiya hutu islami adin islami muna da zanar shiro tarbiya da yana latar nero ilmu lura ne tinzin bai ilmu zaman ne nasarai ma da tinzin bai nan karo daji fata kwayan nafta da sha zikcin baya insha Allah tuman da bai da shi kwashe shiro bariti yana daji sha kamun za da ikalewa salero dasa
Vamos,
Muhammad is a nice person. He's religious, he's kind and supportive, and yeah, Alhamdulillah that I got Muhammad.
Good luck to Muhammad and Dr. Aisha as they embark on a whole new life together, and not forgetting the father of the bride. The Speaker, Borno State House of Assembly, Abdul Karim Lawan, Sunday Magazine, is saying a big congratulations to you over that significant breakthrough. Away from that now, towards enhancing capabilities of career guidance and counseling masters on how best to improve students' performance and making choices in life to further education, Borno State Education Trust Fund, in collaboration with Eco Guides Resources Department Consult, organized a two-day training for secondary school career guidance and counseling masters. Yarwaya Umar was at the Elkanemi Hall of the University of Maiduguri, venue of the training for Sunday Magazine.
The training, which was aimed at exposing participants on how to effectively improve students' performance and choose careers to further their studies, drew 100 secondary school career guidance masters as participants that cut across schools in Borno State. Executive Secretary, Borno State Education Trust Fund, Mena Yaomi, applauded Governor Babagana Omar Zulum's quest to revamp the education sector, saying the governor's concern for educational development gave birth to creation of the Education Trust Fund.
ETF decided to now look into other issues of salvaging the falling standard of education in the state. And part of what the management decided is to look inward and see why students were either placed wrongly in their careers at universities, or some were not properly being put in proper perspective. The wisdom behind this is to ensure that students with abilities, skills, and aptitudes are properly placed in their right choices of career for life.
He said the trust fund is saddled with the responsibility of rehabilitation, development, and consolidation education at all levels, stressing that the workshop was necessitated to improve students' performance and urged participants to put into practice the knowledge acquired.
Education Trust Fund is an intervention agency. We have Teaching Service Board, who has a particular department for monitoring and evaluation. We equally have the Ministry of Education that has the mandate for also doing the same assignment. They are really equal to the task. The executive chairman of the Teaching Service Board has said before the participants that in addition to this training, they will personally go out to inspect the application of what they have learned in the various schools.
Chairman, Borno State Teaching Service Board, Professor Suleiman Bello, commended the Education Trust Fund for coming up with the training and challenged teachers to reciprocate the governor's effort of revitalizing the education sector by being dedicated to their work.
The number of schools in Borno State have increased, arising from the revolution that this governor has put into place. Teaching Service Board inherited 92 schools. Today, we're heading towards 110 secondary schools, an increase of nearly 18 secondary schools in just 2 years. We inherited a student population of about nearly 60,000. Our last census suggested that we had about 150,000 students in the secondary schools. So this colossal increase in the number of secondary schools and the number of students requires also different approach.
According to him, a monitoring and evaluation committee will go around to assess whether the knowledge acquired is put into practice after the workshop. Representative of the Ministry of Education, Bukar Zanna, described guidance and counseling as an area of concern that gives students the ability to choose their career, as education is key in the development drive of Governor Zulum.
At the point of registration, I was denied. What happened? They say subject combination. Why didn't you take the right subject combination? I was not guided well. And that was a fact. And so this responsibility rests on what? The teachers in the secondary school.
Late facilitator of EcoGuides Resources Development Council, Professor Mohamed Waziri, expressed satisfaction with the state government's concern to education development and hopes that the participants will guide students on how to go on with their studies after acquiring the knowledge.
By the time we become professors, the students are no more even calling us bro or dog or whatever, they are even calling us daddy. You know, as of now, when I go to the class, you see students saying, daddy. I don't even like it. I'm not your daddy. I'm more than your daddy. So these are kind of relationship that grows together with our intimacy.
Some of the participants commended Borno State Education Trust Fund for organizing such workshops and promised to put the knowledge acquired into practice.
It was indeed an exciting moment for parents, teachers and pupils of Namu Model School to witness the inter-house sports competition organized by the institution. The grand event, which took place at the GRA Primary School playground, attracted dignitaries, friends and well-wishers. Milka Damalam, it's your turn tonight.
Get set! Run! Oh!
It has been the tradition of Namu Model School to organize annual inter-house sports competition as part of its extracurriculum activities with the aim of uniting the pupils, students and teachers and most of all to have fun. The event started with a march past by the pupils and a football match which was kick-started by Director Alliance Francais Maiduguri, represented by Fatima Ibrahim Jallo, and Principal of the school, Faith Ezekiel Micheliza. The Blue House emerged the winner, defeating Green House by 2-0. The Principal, Faith Ezekiel Micheliza, disclosed that one of the core values of the school is to ensure proper upbringing of a child, not only in academics but also in sports.
Parents that their children are not here, I'm using this opportunity to invite you to come to Namu School, because Namu School is one of the best schools in Maiduguri, because like this inter-house sport competition, from time memorial, Namu School have been organizing it. So I encourage parents from out there to bring your children to Namu School, one, for the upbringing of the child, educationally, morally, mentally, socially, and also in the field of sport.
Apart from the football match by Blue and Green Houses, relay race, 50 to 400 meters race by the pupils, teachers, parents, as well as invited schools also featured. Other track and field activities also took place, such as fill in the basket, busting balloon games, and also 50 meters race by the nursery pupils. Fatima Ibrahim Jallo, and representative of the DPO GRA Police Division, Nuhu Garba, and parents commended efforts of the school for organizing such a memorable event.
I really enjoy it, and I want to use this opportunity to encourage our students, the NAMU students, to put more effort.
We should keep on praying to such schools so that our children will grow up and get a sound mind, so that you know, without the situation of things in Nigeria, education is the only key we can use to develop these children.
Give God the glory for the wisdom being bestowed to the Namu Teachers School. The management, we are appreciating them for this great event.
Awards were presented to winners of each competition, as the overall best went to Blue House, Pink House took the second position, and third goes to Yellow House. Teachers and pupils who were filled with excitement also have this to say.
For a school, of course, without this type of activities, we cannot say a school is a school. And no wonder
Namu School is one of the schools that have embarked on such practices. And not only practicing it, the school decided to invite other schools like Brethren Hope Academy, Kiabias, Little Wonders, and many schools around to come and participate in the events.
Today was a very great day. I enjoyed it. Champion was really, I was happy, excited, and I knew we will beat this up, and actually it was good.
I agree with Sunday Magazine's reporter, dear Milka Damalam, for saying Namu School is one of the best schools in town, if not the best, because I am also a product of Namu Primary School. Now, the Road Transport Employers Association of Nigeria, RTN, Borno State Branch, has commended Borno State Governor, Professor Babagana Umar Zulum, for the giant strides he is making towards reviving the transportation sector, especially the huge investment and reopening of roads. The chairman of the association, Muhammad Abubakar Bishara, made the commendation during the inauguration of the newly elected officials of various RTN chapters in Borno. Murjanat Hassan will now tell us the rest.
The long-decade insurgency has affected almost every aspect of livelihoods, transportation sector inclusive, but Governor Zulum's administration has been working hard to resuscitate the sector. While congratulating the new executive members of R10 of various chapels, the state chairman, Muhammad Abubakar Bishara, said, with the closure of major roads in the state as a result of insurgency that created hardship and unemployment, the situation has destabilized the affairs of Road Transport Employees Association of Nigeria. He commended the courage, commitment, and selfless service of Governor Babagana Umar Zulum, who, despite challenges, worked hard to reform the entire state, especially road network, through the construction of first flyover and provision of metro city buses, taxis, and tricycles, which created employment and eased transportation problem in the state.
With all the challenge ahead, you consider transportation as a vital aspect and the mover of the nation's economy, and one of the important organs of creation of employment in the country. We appreciate his effort, and we are assuring him of our unflinching support. Those leaders that were sworn in now, they are part of the leaders that were elected recently. We have just sworn in 17 or 18 branches across the state, from Biu, Shanik, Payakusar, Manguno, Abadam, and some branches within Maiduguri Metropolitan, Jere, and Kondiga local government, including Damboa and Banki. Let them do their best to see that they bring unity, they support one another, they liaise with the law enforcement agency, and to respect the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, and to be loyal to the government of Borno State.
Stakeholders at the occasion, including Borno State Commissioner of Transport, Abubakar Tijani, Chairman of MMC and Kondiga, Ali Umar Bolori, Abasaja Mohammed Nur, among others, charged the newly sworn-in executive members to be committed and dedicated for the association to attain greater heights. They described RTN as an employer of labor and center for revenue generation, calling on new members to dedicate themselves and be transparent in their services.
Professor Babagana Umar Zulum has dashed out the sum of 1.5 billion naira and purchases taxi cabs, buses, as well as tricycles for the betterment of the state. And for this, I am urging them to always be in support of the governor by being prompt payment of their revenue.
Employer kungiya ne ta safara mai kyau mai kula da fasinjansa da jama'arsa. Shi yasa muke goyon bayansa duk inda jama'a yake muna nan. Muna maraba da su sosai.
Akwai ci gaba sosai. Fatan mu dai ubangiji Allah sa mu kamata alkhairi. Insha Allah rabbi. Allah taimaki shugabannin mu.
From how they have affirmed beyond reasonable doubt that they are going to work within the ambit of the constitution of the associations. So, and it is deterrent, and it has become a lesson to every one of us because we are all mature enough. So whatever we are doing, it will be within the ambit. So that is the reason that will lead us to the progress.
This day has given me a very great pleasure, and what you are expecting me to tell him is
we are praying for God to guide us safely throughout this our administration.
I'm going to congratulate all of you. Please, you have to be honest and do your duty in a good way so that the end and objectives of this organization will be achieved. I congratulate all the elected representatives of this association. In view of this, I call on all members of this association to be law-abiding, respect your constitutional authority and leadership, and then discharge your obligation in accordance with the law of the association and the constitution of our great country, Nigeria.
The new executive members were sworn in by Barrister Rajab Mahmood.
Now, Street Child Organization, an NGO operating in Borno, has within 3 years supported the enrollment of more than 20,000 out-of-school children back into formal educational institutions in 5 local government areas of the state. This formed part of issues discussed at the closeout workshop for European Union Borno Package Program held in Maiduguri. Let's hear Milka Amalam once again.
Street Child is a non-governmental organization that came to Maiduguri in 2017, operating through livelihood, protection and education sectors in various local government areas of Borno, Yobe, Adamawa and Edo states. Supported by UNICEF and the European Union, the education project tagged European Union support to early recovery and resilience in Borno State started the activity on 1st July 2019, targeting 20,000 children to benefit from non-formal education, psychosocial support as well as integrated Quranic education. Program Coordinator Street Child Nigeria, Enrique Nell, Education Program Coordinator Habiba Makonjola, assured that the organization will continue to partner with state ministries of education, RRR, Women Affairs, as well as its implementing partners in providing educational support to out-of-school children in the state.
The level of work and commitment that has gone into this project has been really quite overwhelming, and through some extremely difficult times in the middle of the project of what we wanted to achieve as allowing our children within the communities to have access to education.
And we took lessons learned from the EOBP straight to Mongolo, especially during the COVID-19 when children were at home. I can stand here and talk all day, but God knows I will not be able to do justice to telling you about the journey so far.
Representatives of executive directors of implementing partners also highlighted some of the achievements recorded so far during the project.
We appreciate the effort of Street Child Organization for partnering with the Ministry of Women Affairs, and I will appeal to their organization to extend the program because we have in the Borno State we have a lot of challenges in the issue of children who are disabled and also who don't have authority to go to schools.
We appreciate the government agencies, MORA, MRRR, Ministry of Education, LEA, and others. We really appreciate their collaboration. Without them, we couldn't have achieved the goals of the project.
In our way we implemented, if you take the statistics, majority of the learners we enroll and mainstream into public government schools are the Sangaya children. So, yes. So, we also have the UNICEF Appreciation Center in Hawu, a mega school for some of our learners who were mainstreamed to the public primary schools to acquire skills.
The event featured lots of activities to include Kanuri dance, planet, and a song presentation. The beneficiaries appreciated the organization for the support and promised to use the knowledge acquired positively.
Na gode da JPAS da suka kyautata mana, suka saka mu a makaranta ba abin da zamu iya saka musu illa godiya kuma Allah ya ƙara ɗaukata su mana abin da yafi wannan.
Some art therapy designed by the beneficiaries was also displayed.
Wannan shi ne shiga ke nawa a ranar kamar goma.
The Sunday Magazine train will now take you straight to Borno Central. 3,200 persons have been resettled in their ancestral community, Ngurosoye, in Bama local government area of Borno State, following the attainment of significant peace in the area. Governor Babagana Umara Zulum directed the resettlement of Ngurosoye community, as all the basic items to that effect have already been provided by the state government. Here are more details of the story. Borno State government had in 2021 embarked on the resettlement of victims of insurgency back to their ancestral homes, with a significant number so far returned to their communities. Fortunately, these 3,200 IDPs of Ngurosoye in Bama are the next batch that have now been resettled. Addressing the people, Governor Babagana Umara Zulum, who was represented by Commissioner for Agriculture, Engineer Bukar Talba, congratulated them over the achievement and charged Ngurosoye community not to relent in prayers towards the restoration of lasting peace. While extending the governor's message to the people, the commissioner explained that significant peace and development cannot be achieved without unity, understanding and tolerance, and therefore implored them to eschew all acts capable of disintegrating Ngurosoye again. Commissioners of Local Government and Emirate Affairs, Reconstruction, Rehabilitation and Resettlement, as well as Poverty Alleviation, informed the returnees of government's plan to further assist them, calling on the people to report persons with questionable characters in their midst to security agencies. Member representing Bama Central at the State Assembly, Bamala Sunoma, and Chairman of Bama, described Governor Babagana Umara as a visionary and compassionate leader, saying the resettlement of Ngurosoye will aid in the revival of socio-economic activities as well as restoration of civil authority in Bama. Ngurosoye in Bama local government is an agrarian community and gateway to border town of Banki. Congratulations to all the returnees there. The declining presence of lion in this part of the country saw the king of the wild long forgotten until re-emergence on a killing spree during a brazen attack on a rural community barely 40 kilometers from Maiduguri, the Borno state capital. 2 persons sustained various degrees of injuries following the lion attack on Malari, a returnee community in Kondaga local government that benefited from Borno state government's rehabilitation and resettlement program. Pauline Kujevana, over to you now for the rest of the story.
For a state devastated by over a decade of insurgency, forest and wildlife reserves inaccessible due to the conflicts, animal kingdom is only history or can only be found in the zoo and conservation parks.
It is not normal for us to hear appearance of lion in this area because of the insecurity problem that has displaced almost all the communities that used to stay in these areas, and also deforestation. Felling of trees have greatly reduced, and if you have looked very well, you will find out that most of the trees have regenerated. That means the habitat for these wild animals have been restored.
This brings us to the shocking discovery in the quiet village of Malari in Kwanduga local government area of Borno State, a Ritoni community, destroyed and people displaced by the Boko Haram insurgents. As they pick up pieces of their lives, inhabitants of the resettled community were woken up by a rampaging lone lion which attacked and injured 2 vigilantes on patrol. But this is not the first attack on Malari by the king of the wild.
I receive a distress call daily about the attack. A call on the local vigilantes to go and ascertain. So on the process of going there, they were ambushed by this lion. In the process of defending themselves, they were seriously injured. So in the process of defending themselves, they killed the lion.
The fearsome lion that emerged from the blues was eventually subdued and killed, thanks to security operatives stationed in the town to ward off insurgents' attack.
Chungurmi Duguma in Cameroon, because there are a lot of lions in that reserve. So sometimes there used to be a fight. There have to be a fight between them, and then after the fight, if it is defeated, it has to definitely leave the herd. That adult lion must have left the herd and find its way around that area where it was killed. Those that are living very close to maybe forest or reserves, they have to be very careful. Since these reserves have been restored completely and there have been very little movement in these reserves has to be taken up, they are bound to be taken up by wild animals.
The death-priced animal was later handed over to the Maiduguri Zoo manager, while the injured receiving free treatment at the State Specialist Hospital Maiduguri were offered token for their upkeep.
We all know how dangerous a lion can be, so let's take proactive measures before they launch an attack. Now, trust is nowadays easily becoming misplaced as cases of abduction continue to gain grounds. Let's listen to this pathetic story of a 4-year-old child who was abducted by a neighbor and also a friend whose company he used to enjoy and later poisoned after a ransom was paid by the parents. Yagun Subukar, we're all ears.
Residents of Gwenge 1 area of Maiduguri Metropolitan Council last week woke up to the shock of their lives to discover a dead body of a 4-year-old boy of a petty trader who was abducted 4 days ago after payment of ransom of 250,000 naira by the father. It is shocking to know that the abductor, a final year student of University of Maiduguri, lives in this mansion and a next-door neighbor to the victim who lived with his parents in this compound. Father of the deceased, Babakura Mohammed, while narrating his ordeal, said he received a phone call a day after his child got missing, demanding for 250,000 naira and warned him not to disclose the matter to the security operatives if he wants his child returned unhurt.
Tun tabbatar ya shiga kudi a wajen su din, daga bayan na kira wayan su ma baya shiga. Ba ka wayan su baya shiga, daga na kula na zo na kunta gida, da na fita sallah azuma na yi sallah azuma na fita. Kawai suka kawo suka bar mun gawan. DSS sun ji labarin lamarin. Sun karba account number da number wayan. Suka yi kokari suka kama wannan yaron da ya kashe yaro na dan. Saboda yaron kullum yana zuwa wajen shi, kamar yaron dan dakin shi yake. Ni abin da hukuma ta yi mun kawai tunda ya kashe yaro na kashe shi.
The agony and trauma caused as a result of the gruesome murder of their second child out of 4 children forced the parents to vacate their home as the situation is becoming a nightmare to them. Close relative to the family and a co-tenant who described the incident as an eye-opener said they are still in shock because the victim was so much attached to the culprit before the ugly incident occurred.
Muna da addu'o'i Allah ya kare mu daga dukkan irin wayannan fitintunun, kuma duk wani mai niyan irin wannan abun nan gaba cikin anguwa Allah ya kawar mana shi, kuma Allah tona masa asiri.
Kurmu zuriya zautai da ne fanyana mataki zaudu magonye zaun zuri mafanya ndida yanzu da su basar tana taida ne.
The culprit is already in the custody of security operatives.
Who would have thought that a neighbor and a close friend of the family would stoop so low with such an evil intent to abduct, receive ransom, and kill a friend?
Of course, Iyagumsu, if you ask me personally, I will tell you that I wonder what this world is turning into. But the good thing is that the culprit shouldn't go unpunished as far as justice is concerned. And just before we leave you on Sunday Magazine, to remember, you can watch most of our programs via YouTube by simply subscribing to NTA Maiduguri Channel 10. Now, let's do it again, same time next week. I remain your regular uncle, Abubakar Musa.
G L O. Give it up for us. That's what's up. That's what's up.
I won the Crump one-on-one battle. I'm feeling so awesome right now. So thank you, Glo, for the opportunity. Thank you so much for giving us the platform as dancers.
I come second in Crump battle. What I want from you guys at home is to vote me back into the competition at www.globootynigeria.com.
Right, bro, you're broke. You know, you brought everything has to be Crump on stage, and then you delivered. You showed that you're true Crumper.
This isn't a fight, alright? It's more like a battle. So you gotta come through from the jump. Show them you have too much heart to get bypassed. Because you and I both know, nobody's playing in these streets. See, if you hold back, you lose.